he knocked him out with a fucking head kick, which, you know, I lost a bet on that too. I knew Alex wasn't supposed to win. You know what I mean? I'm fucking betting on these guys. What the fuck? It's like, I don't watch like Islam's interviews. I watch Dustin's interviews because he's like a person. He has shit to say. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like, does that make sense at all? To dictate the course of the fight. Because if Islam takes him down, he'll keep him there. Like, Dustin's not going to get back up. Like that. Islam's not going to do that, bro. Okay, well, he did it. Fuck. Okay. Good fighters are actually boring. I wanted to talk about this, so I wrote a little script. Islam Makhachev, powerful name, is a well-rounded fighter. He has a dominant ground game and good striking and is the undisputed lightweight champion of the world, period. He's also very boring. He's the favorite in every one of his fights, and for good reason. Being Khabib's protege, his legacy, he's well-versed in the art of Sambo, influenced wrestling, the black belt killer. Islam has a suffocating presence, easily disassembling the elusive and formerly dominant Charles Oliveira at the height of his own title reign. Oliveira was a jiu-jitsu specialist that expanded his skill tree by leveling up the Muay Thai stat to great benefit. This evolution as a fighter is what made him so OP against all the contenders he fought to Dustin Poirier. More on him in a second. Michael Chandler, Justin Gaethje, and a less absolutely fucked Tony Ferguson. Oliveira's rise and subsequent fall was sad for only one reason. He was undeniably cool, and that's all I wrote, so now we're going to freestyle. So I like to bet on fighting, and I find it more often than not that I am betting on the underdog. I'm betting on the guy that I know in my heart is probably not going to win statistically, like if we're weighing the odds, but I just want him to. It's the story. I'm a filmmaker that watches, I don't know why I said that. I like stories, you know, the underdog story. Like, yeah, I know Islam is probably, I mean, he's undefeated. Or no, he's not. He has one loss, right? He doesn't have like a flash knockout loss. But I mean, past that point, he's beaten everyone pretty handily, especially recently. Like, he's destroying people. Knocked out Volkanovski's leveling up his like striking game. I mean, he's good. He's a good fighter. He's an elite fighter. He's probably the best in his division right now. Well, like all for all, pound for pound, whatever the fuck. And he's fighting Dustin Poirier, who has had multiple chances at the title and has, you know, come up short in each one of them. He fought, holy fuck, he fought Khabib, and dude was honestly, he got a guillotine on him in the first or second round, and then they lost. But I mean, the guillotine was close. He's probably going to try a guillotine again. It's probably not going to work on Islam, but it could. And here's what's interesting, is that like when you take these guys and, you know, Islam has all the training in the world, all the, he has the mental fortitude to be an elite fighter. He has a skill set to be an elite fighter, the background. Everything is primed for him to win the fight. Everything is lined up perfectly. This is not, you know, stylistically, this isn't that challenging of a fight on paper, right? What was the most challenging fight in Islam's rise to become a champion was when he became a champion, when he fought Charles. That was stylistically supposed to be the most tough like matchup, right? Because you had a guy that wants to get to the fight on the ground with a guy that also is very, very comfortable with the fight being taken to the ground in Charles, right? And being trained by Khabib, Khabib was not looking to stand and strike with you. He did with Conor, which is a testament to Conor's like ability to take people out of their game plan. But Khabib isn't known for, I mean, he has like, wait, let's find the video. Let's find the fucking video. I mean, Khabib is not a striker. What the fuck? Yeah. This is cooked. No, I mean, Khabib doesn't want to fight with you. This is not Islam, though. Like, this is not what he looks like. And we saw that with the Alex fight where he knocked him out with a fucking head kick, which, you know, I lost a bet on that, too. I knew Alex wasn't supposed to win. You know what I mean? I'm fucking betting on these guys. And it's like, every once in a while it hits. It makes it so worth it. But why do we feel the need to, like, bet on the underdogs? You know what I mean? I just feel like I'm not really invested in Islam's story. It's like, yeah, he became champion. He was supposed to be champion. He was always supposed to be champion. He's like the best. He's a fucking amazing wrestler, and like that's kind of what's the meta now. Like that's where the game has gone. As you know, the striking has equalized. Now it's like, okay, well now we have to have the base for the striking, and that's wrestling. Okay, I wanted to provide more context. So I'm talking about Islam being the golden boy, not being fun, and then people like Dustin Poirier and me being drawn to the underdog. What I'm talking about is like I like there being like some grit in the story. You know what I mean? Some grit. I don't like the Marvel movies. I don't like the picture perfect ending. I don't like the meta being fulfilled. I like people that go their own way, fucking go through the fire, all that shit, and then come out the other side. That's what's more fun. That's what's interesting. That's why people like Sean Strickland are like fan favorites. I like the fan favorite, even though Sean Strickland just he was annoying and then he was cool and then he went all the way back to being annoying. Like I don't care, whatever. But I like the fan favorites. I like the people. I don't like the people that are squeaky clean with 0 losses, perfect KOs. I mean, Khabib's cool. That's dominating. He's a GOAT. I mean, you know, like you can't argue with that. That's awesome. But what's like a story you can invest in, the shit I actually care about, the people that I watch. Like I don't watch like Islam's interviews. I watch Dustin's interviews because he's like a person. He has shit to say. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like, does that make sense at all? It's kind of like I don't want to listen to fucking radio hits. Like, yeah, they sound perfect. That sucks. Like that sucks. Oh, I'm gonna watch a Marvel movie where they went to the focus groups and said, "Oh, does this song make you feel happy when Iron Man?" That's like, that's so gay. You want the flaws, you want the breaks, the cracks in the armor, the battles. Like that's what makes it like worthwhile. That's what makes it interesting. That's what makes it like deep. That's what makes it like something to connect to. You can't connect to perfection. It's not a real thing. I don't know. Does that make sense? I don't know. We'll go back to the video. I don't care. Because like that's what made Charles dangerous is that he had the base. He couldn't be taken down. And if he was taken down, he could submit you from the back or reverse the position and submit you from, you know, a dominant top mount or whatever the fuck. And that opened up the striking game for Charles. That's what made it interesting. And then, like I said earlier, like, he was undeniably cool. He had a personality. There was like a fun. There was an energy. You know, he would talk about being illuminated by God, right? Being the chosen one, all this shit. There's just fun shit. He would go and jump around. He would feel happy at least when he's done. Islam just like walks away, which is cool. I mean, he's a killer. Joe Rogan has told me many a time he's a killer. He's a marauder, Jamie. But I mean, he's boring. Dustin Poirier's not supposed to win the fight, guys. Fuck. I don't. If I had $1 billion and they asked me who I'm gonna bet on, I would have to say Islam. But it's like I would feel bad saying that. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to bet on Islam. It's not fun. Okay, betting out of the way. Betting aside, here's what's interesting about like these types of matchups where it's stylistically just like supposed to be like Islam is supposed to walk through Dustin. But here's what's funny. Whenever these kind of things come up, when you're supposed to walk through a guy, like fucking Izzy and Sean Strickland, sometimes that makes you the guy that's supposed to walk through him. That makes you bad because the pressure's on you to defend, right? Like Dustin isn't supposed to win. It's not the same situation as Sean and Izzy. It's really not. But like Dustin, I mean, he's a good grappler. I mean, he's a black belt. Like everyone's a black belt in the UFC. But it's like he doesn't have the credentials that in terms of like wrestling and like ground game that Islam or Khabib or any fucking Russian fighter has. He's a better striker than Islam, 100%. He's probably hits harder than Islam, 100%. But he will be taken down very easily. But what's interesting to me is that I don't think Islam has the same desire as Khabib to take the ground or take to the ground immediately. We were shown in the last fight that he's willing to stand up and exchange a little bit, especially when he's comfortable. I think he probably would be more comfortable striking Alex because of I'm sure they have a reach disparity. I bet Islam is taller, he has more reach versus Dustin, who probably the reach isn't really, it's either in Dustin's favor or neutral probably. But I'm worried that Dustin won't even get a chance to like show the danger that he possesses, or he won't get a chance to earn respect. I think if he earns Islam's respect in the opening rounds, then it becomes interesting. In the opening round, in the first minute, I think it becomes interesting. But that's kind of all he has. He only has like the first minute to really like to dictate the course of the fight. Because if Islam takes him down, he'll keep him there. Like Dustin's not going to get back up from an Islam takedown. It's just not going to happen. I mean, Charles couldn't even do it. Like it's just not. It's going to be virtually impossible for that to happen. But what could be interesting is if Islam doesn't respect him enough to even like go for a quick finish, and he walks in and he kind of like he slows the pace down, like he doesn't push the pace. And he opens up the opportunity for there to be striking exchanges, because within striking exchanges, like that's Dustin Poirier's language. That's the comfortability, and he could earn respect very quickly. He could tag him and he'll hurt him. I doubt it'd be like a flash knockout, but that's what's interesting about this matchup is that you kind of like Yeah, Islam's supposed to win. But in these fights, I have a feeling that Dustin can pull it off. Like this, now is his last chance. Like this is the time. This is the end to the story. I don't know, man. It's exciting. And I would have to bet on Dustin. Like that's the fun bet. That's like the pure bet. That's the bet from the heart. That's what I bet from the heart. I don't know. I'm curious to see what happens here. I really am. Let's see what Anthony Smith has to say about this matchup. The Urukai leader himself. Like that. Islam's not gonna do that, bro. Okay, well he did. Fuck.
And that's something that he's always
Nah, that's not happening though.
But Anthony, what do you make of the matchup?
I love the matchup. I don't know that it's as cookie cutter as maybe everyone wants to make it seem, because there was the Khabib fight with Dustin Poirier. I think that Islam is more willing to engage in more areas than Khabib was. I think that across the board, I think that Islam's a better fighter, but I think his style gives Dustin Poirier more opportunities to be successful. If DP can land something big early and get Islam to back off a little bit, they're different types of wrestlers in terms of Islam and Khabib. They're different types of strikers, and I think that Dustin is very, very dangerous on his feet.
Guys, I'm gonna be honest. I listened to an interview with Anthony Smith earlier on the Helwani show, where he was talking about this, and he basically just repeated this. Then I started thinking about it, and then I made this video about 7 to 9 hours later, and now we've come full circle. I'm a fucking fraud.
And Islam has already acknowledged that. He's cracking jokes that he's not gonna get that guillotine on him. I think this fight is much closer than a lot of people are giving me credit for, and I think that Dustin Poirier knows this is probably his last opportunity to win undisputed gold. And I think we're going to see the best Dustin Poirier. Can he keep Islam off his back? I don't know. We're going to find out. I can't wait to see it.
I don't know. I can't wait either. So that is June 1st in Newark, New Jersey. So you guys can go ahead and order UFC 302 right now.
Okay, thank you guys. Okay, back to me. Thanks, guys. Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be a fucking huge upset if that happens. I have a feeling it will. I have a feeling it will, and I have a feeling it won't. Also, I have mixed emotions. But what's the take? I don't know. What do you guys think? Like, fucking, I want to poll the MMA community. Because yeah, he's not supposed to win. Everyone knows. But then it's like, that's not a fight. Isn't really. It's not a statistical analytic. Like it's not a what's the fuck? It's not a simulation. It's not a simulated fight. It's a fight. You know what I mean? Like you could slip. You could misjudge your distance. I mean, it's just, I don't know. Yeah, I think if Islam misjudges how equal they are on the feet, he could end up hurt and could jeopardize his easy path to victory. That's what I think. I think it's Islam's fight to lose, and I could see him jeopardizing it with a false sense of confidence on the feet and not initiating takedowns where he should, and him being a little, maybe interested in proving the expanded skill set that people expect of him, proving how he's different than Khabib, a more evolved fighter. I could also see him just going in and fucking insta-killing Dustin Poirier within the first round with a rear naked choke. Both of those would be, well, no, one of those I would want. The other one would make me fucking suicidal. Thanks for watching. This is a quick video. Just had some thoughts, wanted to get them out, and I love you guys so fucking